Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Rich Girl Real Talk Live, where the vibe is elevation and joy. I'm your host, Rich. Hey. And I just wanted to say what's up and chop it up with you guys for another week recap. So we talked about in the previous episode, what was it? Who has the remote? Now that was my jam because I got a chance to just tap into my Soul Train bag. And it was so much fun talking about it and actually doing some research to just give you guys some really cool tidbits about the origins and all of the wonderful accolades that is the Soul Train entity. And also just giving it a big salute because it has impacted so many people. Like just the fact that it is one of the longest running nationally syndicated shows in the US, that's a bar. That's amazing. And it shows because when you're true to yourself and true to your brand, and not only true to your brand, but true to your culture, people love authenticity. So shout out to Soul Train and the whole entity and how they've merged with BET to continue that legacy that Don Cornelius had laid the framework for. Having that said, I definitely was talking to my mom. She was like, "What you know about some Soul Train?" And my dad was like, "What you mean you like Teddy Riley?" So my dad was like, he was like, she was only 3 years old when she was talking about how she had a crush on some Teddy Riley. So just to give you a backstory, so in the episode I talk about how like my first celebrity crush was Teddy Riley, and the reason how I got to this space is when I saw him performing in like 1989 on the show. I was like, oh, who is that? He's so, oh my gosh, what is that around his face? Like I was into Teddy's like goatee. Like I remember the whole everything. And it was funny. It was funny. And I was like, okay, so this is a goatee. My mom was admiring him as well. And we were just having a girl moment about like Teddy Riley. And, it was just funny because some of the conversations that I had with family members about Soul Train and what that meant to them, it was actually really cool to hear all those wonderful tidbits for sure. Because clearly, if it's one of the longest running syndicated shows in the US, that means that it's touched everybody. And it's a time capsule, y'all. Soul Train is a time capsule. And I definitely urge you, if you have not gone back to see some of the previous episodes from different decades, you are missing out. You are not living, y'all. Like, I remember the other day I was watching, who was it? It was Marvin Gaye. And he was singing Distant Lover. And when I tell you the way them girls was fawning over him, I was like, oh my gosh. But at the same time, I understood it because I was like, yeah, he's giving all the heart and soul, all the swag. I mean, you can't help it. So just being able to see the time capsule and being able to see your mama, your aunties up there, because they were like, if they went to the show and it was like a Isley brother, Mr. Ron, or if it was a Marvin Gaye, you probably saw them falling out. So you need to check it out. Or even, I always go back to when Michael and the Jackson 5, when they did Dance Machine, y'all, it took me out. I get into this bag like, go Michael, go. I know I'm pop locking, but like he was doing all that. Like it was a moment. Like, but let me tell you, the fros, the bell bottoms, like all of that was a whole complete vibe, and I loved every bit of it. But of course, again, like I said, I'm a mid 80s baby. I was born in 86, so I was born in 86. With that being said, like when it was the time for me to actually kind of grasp the concept of Soul Train, I had to be nothing but three. So I saw like the silk t-shirts and the high top fades, and you know what I mean? You got your I'll Be Sure and singing Night and Day. All that. That was the era when I fell in love with them R&B swags. Okay? R&B swags, I tell you. Anywho, it's the thing. So you need to go ahead and watch. If you haven't watched any of the Soul Train episodes, y'all, I urge you to just go back and check out those time capsules and be able to also see the full episodes, because some of the older episodes from like the early 80s, the early 70s, because I believe it the first show aired in 71. And just looking at these black owned businesses just supporting and rallying behind this man's vision, Don Cornelius's vision, is a sight to be seen. And just to be able to see the beautiful black aesthetic celebrated on a high level is always top tier. So check that out for sure if you have not. Furthermore, I also want to get into a little bit of what you'll see, or excuse me, what you'll hear in this next episode. So this next episode is called Happy Denim Day. That's why I'm wearing this, and I am a little scantily clad because because National Denim Day is got a deeper meaning. So National Denim Day, it was actually um it was a rally. It was a rally call for young people, not just young people. Let me clarify. It was a rally call for anyone who was a victim of sexual assault, and or anyone that is a supporter of anyone that has been in a situation where they have been sexually assaulted. And here's the backstory, just to give you a little bit of context. So back in 1998, this young lady in Italy, she was wearing tight jeans while she was just, going doing this, like, I think she was going into this driving course, and her driving instructor had the audacity to violate her. And he tried to intimidate her and say, if you tell anybody, I'm going to kill you. Well, clearly she was strong, like she was strong enough to go ahead and just keep going, and she pressed charges. Fast forward the following year, she actually had to come back, and they had opened the case again, and he appealed it based off the fact that she was wearing tight jeans that day. And he said because she was wearing such tight jeans, y'all, that was the reason why it was pretty much a consensual sexual experience, which it was not. But it actually worked. The guy was actually released based on this absurd appeal. And the following day, women all across Italy, within that area and beyond, they wore denim to work or wherever they went, because they wanted to protest and be in solidarity with this young lady. Because how could they say, and how could they think it's okay for them to say this man can get exonerated for these charges of violating this young lady who he was supposed to protect? He was in a space where he was someone that she thought that she was in a safe space with. This was her driving instructor, and he violated her. And then he tried to make it seem like it was her fault, and it was consensual because of him coercing her to take down her pants. And because she did it, that made her a consenting member and the experience. And I was like, wow. Now, I never heard of this particular day. So the reason how I actually even learned more about this particular day was me going through the internet rabbit hole, y'all. And when you start just looking at hashtags and you're just like, what are they talking about? This is a new day. This is a new holiday for this, that, and the third. Listen, they actually have a holiday sidebar. They actually have a holiday for dissertations. Who? Happy dissertation day. Like, says no one. I mean, you just want to be done with it. But again, if you actually have your doctorate, your PhD, Yeah, shout out to y'all. But for someone that said, okay, I did my foreign done, or I did my master's, and I did my end of course graduate dissertation paper and or capstone paper. Okay, bye. I just want to be done with it. I'm not thinking about what like, oh, celebrating this day. No, I'm celebrating the day I crossed that stage, champ. That's when I'm celebrating. So I was like, okay. So as I was going through this rabbit hole, I'm like, so what are some of the major holidays for, sorry, my lighting is doing the most right now. So, following, see, this is what happens in real time, y'all. This is what happens in real time. So, following that, I was like, oh my gosh, so what's going on the 26th of April? And then I said, Denim Day. I saw Denim Day, and I was like, ooh, I like denim. So, what's up? I like denim. So, what's up? And so, as I started reading the synopsis of it, the summary was just talking about this story, this compelling story, and then also the different building blocks that led to this particular event, this national event. So I actually went on nationaltoday.com, and that's where I got all of my information. And it was such a compelling holiday, because of course I wasn't about to say, y'all, happy dissertation day. No. So we were going to do something with some substance, with some meat to it. Okay. Some cojones. So we end up, this is what it became. This is me using my platform to share and to elevate the conversation, and also just make sure that I stand in solidarity for those that have survived, including myself, of sexual assault. And I just want to say that this is what we're supposed to do. These are the things that we do as we are ascribing to be our best version of ourselves, which is elevating our voices, speaking up, doing the right thing, and being able to advocate for those that have, just finally got to the point where they're able to share their story. And then also just being able to just stand up and just stand tall in who we are. And that includes not just for the things that who I believe in, but also that my family believe in or have been affected by in some form or fashion, or even friends. Like Rihanna said, pull up. Fast forward, I also talk about, the fact that Martin got his Hollywood star last week. And I'm just thinking to myself, that is crazy. How is it that Martin did not have his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame until last week? And I was just thinking to myself, like, all these different things that Martin has done. So I said, I'm going to celebrate this too. Even though the moment has passed, I still want to give my salute and my, applause to such a wonderful, wonderful creative. Now, Martin has done so much. I mean, of course, he's been in different movies, and all of those different movies and those franchises have just catapulted to astronomical numbers. And you have to think, there's always something that you can quote from Big Mama's House, Martin, Bad Boys, all the installments, like everything that Martin has done. Life, come on now, Life. You're like, do you want this cornbread? Like everything. There are so many wonderful movies and so many wonderful art pieces that he's connected to, that is a staple in our culture. And I just had to just represent. And I also just made it a time for me to just talk about some of my favorite moments. Like thinking about Shanae when she went on her date with Kid, or the fact that I didn't talk about this in the show, but in the episode, but when Myra came out and Shanae gave her that sandblaster, y'all, I'm still done from that. Or then when King Beef came out, or Otis, or Dragonfly Jones, like too many moments. There are too many moments and not enough time to just go through all of the wonderful all the wonderful highlights to all the things that he is has contributed to the laughs and within our community, within our homes, and just in our day to day. Like, and that's a part of the elevation and the joy is thinking on things that are positive, thinking on things that are positive, and then also thinking on things that make you smile. Because when you smile, it just shifts your attitude, it shifts your paradigm, and you become more present. And life doesn't become as serious. You just can take a breath, and that's what that's about. I thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing some of your favorite shows and some of your favorite art that you have been able to just share and love that came from Martin. And also, don't be afraid to subscribe to my website, y'all. I am not trying to give y'all the snail mail. I know how that feels. So it's just really just a way for me to tap in and connect, but listen, y'all not gonna be just getting all the extra stuff. So don't be afraid to do that. It's gonna be an easy transition. It's just gonna be a hey, thanks for the love. Holla at your girl. That is my time for the day. Again, hit me up on my social medias. I'm gonna link everything below. And I look forward to our time next time. And but with all of that being said, I want you to know you are beautiful inside and out. You are amazing. And everything that God has called you to do, go for it because the blessings are in your hands, baby. Just take it.